Cowboys Nation, I wish I was coming to you today with better news, but unfortunately, we have to talk about something that no one expected, something that shocked fans, media, and even some inside the organization. Yes, I'm talking about the very real possibility that the Dallas Cowboys may be preparing to say goodbye to Dak Prescott. That's right, the man who's been the face of the franchise for nearly a decade, the quarterback who was drafted in the 4th round in 2016 and stunned the world by taking over for Tony Romo and never looking back, may be on his way out. There's a storm brewing in Dallas, and this isn't just media hype, there's smoke, and when it comes to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, smoke often means fire. Over the past few weeks, rumors have intensified. Initially brushed off as offseason speculation, reports started gaining traction suggesting that Dak and the Cowboys were not seeing eye to eye on his long-term future, and now, we're hearing that internal talks have turned serious. Sources close to the organization have hinted that the front office is quietly exploring options, potential trade partners, future quarterback plans, and most shockingly, even the idea of a post-Dak Cowboys offense. And let me be clear, this isn't about performance alone. It's about timing, money, and pressure. This is about a team that hasn't made it to the NFC Championship game since 1995, a team desperate to win now, and a front office that may believe they've reached the ceiling with Dak Prescott. That hurts to say because Dak's been a warrior for this team. Through injury, adversity, criticism, and pressure, he's carried himself like a leader. You think back to the 2020 season when he suffered that gruesome ankle injury, how he fought back, rehabbed like a champion, and came back even better in 2021. He's been a symbol of resilience, someone fans could rally behind, someone the locker room respected. But football is a business, and that business is unforgiving. With Dak's current contract 4 years, $160 million, signed back in 2021, the Cowboys are feeling the weight of his cap hit. We're talking about a $59 million cap hit in 2025 if nothing changes. That's one of the highest in the league, and that puts the front office in a bind. They need cap flexibility to re-sign key defensive players, bolster the offensive line, and maybe even look for another wide receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb. They've already made hard decisions this offseason, letting go of veterans, drafting with a clear future-forward mindset, and now, it seems, they're preparing for life after Dak. What does that even look like? That's the scary part. Are they planning to draft a young QB next year? Are they secretly in talks with another team for a veteran quarterback swap? Is someone like Russell Wilson, who could be available, on their radar? Or is it a full rebuild with a rookie, someone like Quinn Ewers or Shedeur Sanders from the upcoming draft class? The possibilities are endless, but one thing is clear: Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are feeling the heat. They know they can't afford another 12-5 season followed by a wildcard or divisional round exit. They want more. They need a Super Bowl. And they're starting to wonder if Dak can take them there. The playoff losses have hurt bad. The 2023 loss to the Packers was brutal. The 2022 defeat by the 49ers still stings. Every year, it's the same narrative: great regular season, high expectations, early playoff exit. And unfortunately, fair or not, the blame often lands on the quarterback. Now, I'm not saying that's entirely justified. Dak has had some incredible games, has put the team on his back multiple times, but in this league, quarterbacks get too much credit when things go right and too much blame when they don't. That's just how it is. Let's not forget he's the leader of America's team. Every move he makes, every pass he throws, every mistake gets magnified 100 times over. So when the organization starts looking at that massive cap hit and combines it with playoff disappointment, you can see why conversations have started. And the question is no longer, will Dak be our guy forever? It's become, is now the time to move on? And that's heartbreaking for fans. Just look at social media. Twitter, Reddit, Instagram. Cowboys fans are split. Some are saying it's time, that the window has closed, that a reboot is necessary. Others are furious, calling this disloyal, a betrayal of a guy who's given everything to this team. It's chaos out there, and I don't blame anyone for how they feel. This is personal. This isn't just about numbers or contracts. It's about emotion. Doc was the guy we believed in. He gave fans hope. He was a class act off the field, a leader on it, and an inspiration in the community. He represented the star with pride. And now we're facing the reality that his time in Dallas may be up. The locker room will feel it too. Players like CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Zach Martin, they've all publicly supported Doc. They believe in him, so if this move happens, it's going to shake the foundation of that locker room. It could rally the team to perform with a chip on their shoulder, or it could fracture morale. It depends on how it's handled. If Doc is traded, expect a blockbuster. Teams like the Denver Broncos, who are desperate for a veteran quarterback, or the Las Vegas Raiders, who have uncertainty under center, might pick up the phone. The New Orleans Saints have the coaching, the defense, and the need for stability. Even a team like the Minnesota Vikings could surprise us if they move on from Kirk Cousins. Doc still has value. He's not done. He's 31 years old, in great shape, and still among the top 10 quarterbacks in this league when healthy and confident. But whether or not Dallas is willing to absorb the PR hit, lose the locker room trust, and enter an uncertain future remains the big question. Let's also not forget the draft capital that would come back. If Dallas trades Doc, they'll be looking for at least a first-round pick and possibly more. They'd need ammunition to either trade up for a top QB prospect or build around a rookie contract. It's a gamble, no doubt. Rookie quarterbacks are unproven, and not everyone's a Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow. What if they miss? What if they spend the next 5 years rebuilding and never find their guy? That's the risk Jerry Jones has to weigh. Is the devil you know better than the one you don't? Is moving on from Doc a step forward or a dangerous plunge into uncertainty? You can bet this decision is weighing heavily on the front office. Behind the scenes, negotiations are likely intense. Doc has a no-trade clause, which means he has to approve any destination. So if he's unhappy, if he feels disrespected, or if he doesn't believe in where the team is heading, he could force their hand. Or he could say no to every deal and walk in free agency next year, leaving Dallas with nothing. That would be catastrophic, so the team may feel pressure to act now, while they can still control the outcome. And what about Doc himself? He hasn't said much publicly, but we've seen subtle signs. Slight shifts in tone during interviews. More reflective answers about the future. Mentions of legacy, of whatever happens next. It feels like a man preparing himself mentally for change. And as much as that hurts to say, it's hard to ignore. The truth is, no matter how this ends, it's the end of an era. Even if Doc stays one more year, we now know the Cowboys are thinking about life after him. That changes everything. That changes how they draft, how they spend in free agency, how they build the offense. And for the fans, well, we have to brace ourselves. The next chapter is coming, and we don't know what it holds. Maybe it's a bright future with a young phenom. Maybe it's growing pains. Maybe it's a shocking resurgence led by a trade we didn't see coming. But no matter what, the name Dak Prescott will be remembered. For better or worse, he defined an entire generation of Cowboys football. He gave us hope when we had none. He made Sundays exciting. He stood tall in one of the toughest markets in the NFL. And if this is goodbye, then thank you, Doc. Thank you for the moments, the fight, the class, and the heart. You were more than a quarterback, you were our guy. And wherever you go next, you'll carry a piece of Cowboys Nation with you. But now it's time to see what happens next. Buckle up, folks. The Dallas Cowboys are on the brink of something major. And we're going to be here for every moment. Drop a comment below. How do you feel about all this? Should the Cowboys keep Doc, or is it time to move on? Let your voice be heard. Smash that like button if you believe in staying loyal to your QB. Subscribe if you want daily updates as this drama unfolds. Because trust me, this story is just getting started. And when the news breaks, we'll be right here, breaking it down with you. Until next time, hold on to your jerseys, Cowboys Nation. The ride's about to get bumpy.